Well, hello and welcome to another live question and answer. We always get a little nervous and we always go right down to the wire. We're a little late today, but we apologize. A lot's been going on. I had 2 weeks in a row. The first week, if you watched last week's question and answer, we had the swan chair. And the swan chair's in the process of being stripped down.
Well, hello.
And what came in this week is more unusual than the swan chair. This is called a prayer chair, and I have to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen one in person. So this is a prayer chair. So I want to show you how it's used. It's used. You can sit down and say your prayers, or to do it right, as us Catholics do, we pray this way, and we kneel down. We'll have our Bible with us. But right now I'm going to say a little prayer about this swan chair because I'm a little nervous about this chair. This chair behind me is a very high-end chair and very difficult, as we talked about last week, to do. And I'm about to take off the latex, which has been molded into the wood, and it's just not in a good way. So we're going to try to attack that. And so it's been a very exciting couple of weeks here at the shop, and we can't wait. I think I'll just start a little bit on stripping this to show you what sometimes us upholsterers have to go through in order to prep a piece. So let's do that. The prayer chair will come later. Actually, she picked a nice ionic blue velvet for this prayer chair. So the chair, this has a mate to it. It's a wing chair with coil springs. This is a little uncomfortable, but I guess that's the idea. On the other chair, it's the same fabric. It's the matching chair to this. So I was, we were laughing about it with the client. I said, so you pray, you kneel and pray on this chair that you can sit in the more comfortable chair that Jimmy is sitting in right now. And Jimmy's going to join us for the live question and answer too, Jimmy.
I am?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll be asking you to step up and talk about your current project and about where you're at on that. Jimmy's doing the online classes, and if you haven't checked the Broadway Upholstery School online classes, I really do advise you to do that. Jimmy's been a mainstay, and actually today something spectacular happened to Jimmy. I noticed that he definitely is advancing in his knowledge base because he's doing a lot of things without asking questions. And there was one thing that he did today. I guess you're going to have to get the online class to see it. But there was one thing that he did without asking, and it's right. So that's a sign that you're advancing, the fewer questions that you have. But that's not the idea of this show, which is a question and answer. So I want you guys to jump right in and ask those questions. I would rather just answer questions from you the whole time instead of using these props. But I think people do enjoy this too. This I really enjoy, the prayer chair. I wish I had one on my own. So I'm going to put this aside, prayer chair. So last week this was the swan. Now it's the ugly duckling. What do you think, Jimmy?
I think you've got your work cut out for you. I've never seen anything like that before.
So right,
this is definitely a lesson for me too, as well.
I mean, latex when it was introduced in I think as early as I want to say the 30s, as early as the 30s. It was a revolutionary batting of foam or whatever you want to call it. And at the time, the reason it was because it's such a small area of space. You had great resiliency and also comfort in a little spot. For really curved chairs like the swan chair, that was essential. So I don't like latex. I don't use it again. So we're going to have to try to duplicate the original with polyurethane now. And even though some of the more high-end new mid-century furniture, I can't get used to that. So a piece of furniture that's produced today is new mid-century, or mid-century design, let's say. They've switched over to foam a few years ago, so they're doing it. We can too. The latex, because of this, is not advisable. Okay, so we're going to have to try to duplicate this. But what I want to show you live on, and to see what we have to go through to get this off, you actually have to take a chisel and a mallet, and you actually have to do that. And you have to get underneath it and chip it away. I'm probably going to get, when I start going on this, a wider chisel just to try to get underneath. So I want to take this off and show you that the bottom piece is still a little fresh. I can still feel it's actually gone right through, but the top is crusted. and the bottom has a little bit of a sponge-like to it, but it's pretty much, obviously it's dead. So we're going to be stripping this down. I'm not going to do it now because it's kind of gross. I'm going to put it aside. We're going to probably have to wear a mask when we do this because of all the dust, but that'll do that for now. And then I'm going to get to some questions that have been asked in between, unless there's a live question right now, not yet. I've got a lot of compliments online, and we really appreciate that. After we ask these questions, I think I'll have Jimmy come up to talk about his class, but maybe he could have some input too on some of these questions, and also comments on email, YouTube, Facebook. Oh, I want to talk about the Facebook forum. Is that open to everybody, Patrick?
Everybody can just send a notification if they want to join, and I can accept them.
And that's at Broadway Upholstery School on Facebook.
Upholstery School Forum, yes.
Upholstery School, Broadway Upholstery School Forum on Facebook. You know, join up. It doesn't cost anything, and there's some really exciting
talk about your project, share
banter
with
back and
everyone
forth
else.
from students, and I kind of chime in here and there. Patrick chimes in,
And
and
check out the teaser he just posted.
check out the teaser on
It's on YouTube.
YouTube underneath the Broadway
A
Upholstery.
lot of exciting things coming up on the
Cool.
website. So.
We are really excited and charged because there is a lot going on, and the YouTube channel is just really coming alive. It seems like it's eclipsed, and we're really proud of that. And it's hard work, folks. This isn't easy. So your feedback, your viewing, and especially, I know I keep saying, I know it's a pain for me to say this. It hurts to say this, but please subscribe. And do the notifications too, right, Patrick? So you know when we do these. We're always the amount of information that we're giving out. I don't think you're going to get this information anywhere. I really do believe that truly. So I've been teaching for so long.
And people who've already taken the class, make sure to go on our Facebook page and leave a review, because we'll be posting that on the site for everyone to see soon. So
Patrick said leave reviews on the forum.
No, the Facebook page.
On the Facebook page.
Yep.
But I will say it again. I've said it before that we had nearly 1 million views on the YouTube, and if every one of those persons actually subscribed, boy, we would be really happy. It would really make us happy. We are happy with how many 7,000?
Yeah, we're really on a fast pace to get to 10,000. It's going really a lot quicker than it has in the past.
We're over 7 on the subscribers.
Almost at 8 already.
So hopefully people are hearing this, that 10 more times more people are actually watching.
There it is again.
I know, I can't help myself. Now I had a good friend, she said,
And there that is again.
I know, I said, I watch you all the time. I said, have you subscribed? No. But, even I'm guilty of that. Somebody's car alarm's going off. I think it might be Jimmy's.
No.
Jimmy,
No,
can
no.
you get up off that aisle? What aisle are you in over there? Aisle B?
Aisle 1 to aisle 1.
Yeah, can you tell those other people to move aside so you can get off your seat and check?
They won't.
All right. Well, Jimmy's back sitting down because he realized that wasn't his car and the alarm just went off.
They're stealing somebody else's car.
So, okay, let's get to some of these questions. I'll never finish this hour, Jimmy, if I don't get moving. Thank you.
We want more.
So we got Joseph Soto, 57. He's contacted us through Facebook?
Instagram.
Instagram.
I had a cool conversation with him. I just wanted to shout him out.
Joseph is, the thing about Joseph, he's a young man. He's had an interest in upholstery. And this is great. We love that. And he's out in Las Vegas. He says, I hope you guys open a school in Las Vegas. I bet we do. I know, I'm just kidding.
I go out for a small vacation.
Actually, Las Vegas is probably the upholstery capital of the world. Did you know that?
Well, with all the hotels and
Yeah.
the homes and
Yeah.
actually, with so much rehab of houses out there.
Jimmy, I went on an estimate once, and I went into a warehouse and said, we need all these chairs upholstered for a major university in the Boston area, and I went in and they had 500 chairs.
Wow.
Do you know what 500 chairs look like?
We could retire.
Oh no, I looked at it like, this is ultimately what will kill me.
Oh no.
I wouldn't know where to start.
Nights, weekends, holidays.
Oh, it's tough work. Production work, we should mention that. There's different areas of upholstery. There's automobile upholstery, which is a skill unto itself. It's a whole different tool set and skill set. It's a lot of stitching involved in that. I can do it, but you know, I'm not set up for doing it. You need a at least a 2-bay garage to do that, and a workshop in addition to that in the garage. It has to be clean. It can't be like a mechanic's garage. So it has to be new, probably. So you do need that. You can't do that outside, that type of work outside. You need to pull the car inside. So that's a requirement. The tools, a little bit more expensive and pricey. The equipment that you need is a little bit more pricey. And you need space. You need a pocket area. You need a parking lot. So that's one form. The other is custom upholstery, like I do. I do mainly to clients, to individual clients. I can do custom-made furniture, but I don't get into that a lot because it takes away from the reupholstery. So this is my main bread and butter right here. And then there's commercial upholstery. Now I'll tell you something. Commercial upholstery is a young man's game. Joseph, right? Joseph, if you really want to make an impact and really earn a living at your age, if you have the energy, you should look into commercial upholstery. That's where you can get those big bulk jobs, and if you're motivated and you have the energy and you have the youth, there you go. So I want to read what else he says. So he says, we may try to do cross-country seminars.
I said that. That's an idea you had.
That a dream is to do these cross-country seminars and pick up, maybe Jimmy could even come along.
I'd love to get out of town for a while.
Yeah, I mean, if you're part of the show, right? You're part of the question and answer. We could travel around, Patrick, and maybe do this if we become successful, more successful in what we're doing. That would be a consideration. So Joseph, stay tuned. You never know. We could be in your neighborhood soon for a week or two. So he says, I hope I want to work in an upholstery shop. I'm 26. I just want a career in something I like doing. So I would say...
and by the way, I hope I was okay that I used that conversation, Joseph. I assumed it was okay to reveal any personal information. So.
Yeah, no, we think it's important, and maybe we can help Joseph. If there's an upholsterer out there in Las Vegas that would give Joseph an opportunity, a young man who's motivated, he sounds good, sounds like he's ready to learn a career, take him under your wing and teach him wouldn't it be great if I see some of these shows online where they do restore automobiles, and wouldn't it be great if Joseph got a job with a guy like that, doing automobile upholstery.
Counts Custom.
Counts Custom Cars or something like that. He's out in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So
me and Michaela have been there.
So I would say, Joseph, if you haven't got the fundamentals of upholstery on the website, BroadwayUpholsterySchool.com, I don't know where you are in your career of upholstery, but there's the fundamentals and how to. It's going to take you the basics. And the nice thing about that is I give out my sources, and you get. I want to make it clear though. You get the frame and the supplies. You order separately yourself, and you get that wholesale cost through the companies that I set you up with. But you're going to get the instructional video, which is an extensive video. I think it's an hour and a half long, Patrick, or something like that, or 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get my book. So there you go, Joseph. That could be a good start for you. So let's see what else we got here. Thank you, Joseph, for the feedback. I like it. So Tony is a founding member on the what is it, Patrick?
Forum.
On the forum, and he actually
She
is sorry. Sorry. I see the Tony with the eye. You think I'd know better? Sorry, Tony. So she is a founding member, and she has this beautiful mission chair that she posted, and she did this chair based on a video that she saw that we did. Well, let's read what she says. She said she just finished this mission style chair. It was in bad shape, and I'll hold this up to the camera because
it's on the screen.
It's on screen. Patrick has it on screen. It was in bad shape. I had to completely retire the springs, add new cotton, foam, and Dacron, but oh, so worth it. Pretty now. Anyone know how old this chair is? Wondering if it is from the late 19th century. There's a good chance that is from the late 19th century, Tony, and I think you did a fabulous job, and I think I commented. She's got 9 comments and seen by 19 people on the forum. Gee, Patrick, the forum has really taken off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Jimmy is a founding member of the forum, too, I believe, and one of these comments in here, I think, is from Jimmy. He's very, what I like about Jimmy and all the students, they're very supportive of one another. You know, they're always trying to help one another, try to suggest certain things to one another. But when I saw this, my trained eye picked up on something, Tony. I'm going to give you a really good compliment here. When you look at this chair, it is crowned perfectly. You've got a perfect crown on this chair. I hope you're watching to accept this compliment. But the scale is proper too. That's very important. Oftentimes people tend to overdo crowns or overdo a stuffed seat or a mission seat. You've got the perfect amount of filling on this, and I bet it's very comfortable because the key ingredient that you have are the springs. You didn't take the springs out. The springs are what's going to keep the crown in shape. And I bet, I'm not sure where do you know if she's got the fundamentals of upholstery, Patrick, Tony?
I know the other student does.
Okay.
Pam. And
Because
that's the
in the
next one I-
fundamentals of upholstery, it would show you how to do a crown seat like this with the springs first. It all starts, excuse me, with the springs. Sorry, I've had a little cold, but hopefully I don't cough too much. Any questions yet? We know a lot of people just like watching, I guess, huh? We had Lucas last week, and he's from Belgium, Patrick?
Yes.
And his
I
wife...
remember this time.
His wife has given him permission to travel to America to do what? Of all the things he could do in America, Jimmy, he can go to Las Vegas, he can go to 2 Disneylands, he can go to the Mississippi River,
Oh, we're gonna show him a good time.
he can go to Mount Washington, he can climb, you know, whatever mountain he wants. Guess what he wants to do?
He wants to hang out with us.
He wants to come take a class at Upholstery on Broadway, or
Oh.
Broadway Upholstery School.
We have to give him the full Monty.
Now, do you think Lucas is pulling the old Irish leg on me, or do you think he's serious?
I don't know if he shows up at the door, but that's okay. Guess what? He's gonna be staying with you.
I bet he is serious. I bet he likes what he sees on those classes. I think, does Lucas have an online class, Patrick?
He said, I think he's saving up.
Lucas
I think so.
is
I have to check. I'm
I
not
think
sure.
at some point Lucas should take an online class just to see what we do here, really in depth with the online classes. We show a lot, much more than I could ever show on YouTube, you guys. You know that. I won't go on about that right now. Let's get back to this.
So we'll
So
follow up on that one. So it's coming over.
there's a follow-up on,
Read the other one first. The one you said, yeah. That just came in, that one I just gave it to you.
so Pam Bowen is a founding member of the forum too, right, Patrick?
Yeah.
I love that forum. That was a good idea. Whose idea was that?
Yeah, I got a comment from somebody. I think his name was Dave. Who I replied back. I'm not sure if he watches, but yeah, a comment.
What was the comment, Patrick?
He suggested that, and it was a good idea.
Oh, he suggested, we got that as a suggestion. And this has created quite a buzz. We really appreciate that. Jimmy's one of our best supporters of that. Always encouraging others, you know. Thank you, Jimmy. So Pam Bowen, founding member, she says, this was only 22 hours ago, folks, so we're getting better at these, answering these, and we're getting more steady at this question and answer. You can see us, Thursday night is a good night for us, I think. I think we finally hit our stride there. We're kind of a little bit all over the place with that. But now we're hitting our stride. Boy, Pat, I think we're hitting our stride on the online classes, on the YouTube channel, on the forum. What else?
Everything.
The
Instagram.
website, Instagram. I think we're really, the Facebook, really, you know, I wasn't a big fan of Facebook but the forum has really convinced me that Facebook.
There's been a little bit of a lull on the website, but that's just because we're filming tons of content. There'll be tons of stuff posted on there soon. Just check out the teaser we post, and that's what
Yeah, check out the teaser on YouTube that we're
What's
posting
coming
about
up.
that, right. So Pam says, this is really exciting. Now this to me, I don't think I can get a higher form of a compliment here from a student who I don't think I've met her. I think she's just an online person, right, Patrick?
Yeah.
She says the bench project completed. Had to count the stripe on each end to be sure it was lined up exactly. The fundamentals of video has helped. Now she definitely purchased the fundamental video at BroadwayUpholsterySchool.com. And she actually did this. Is that up, Patrick, for people can see?
Yep.
Now that's amazing. I can't, there's no better compliment than that. She did a really good job. Now I saw this. Do we have a picture of the bare frame on that?
That was in last week's one.
So if you go to last week's question and answer, you'll see the bare frame that she had. You have to scroll through that, fast forward through that to see that the bare frame, I think her husband did the frame, right, Patrick? His husband's a woodworker, right, Jimmy?
Yes.
So Jimmy's been,
Excellent frame.
yeah, wasn't that nice? A good job, really. And that probably sits in a prominent place in her hallway. That the first thing her guests
She
see.
did a great job.
Isn't
I'm
she?
applauding
Something.
that.
Me too. I like that. Okay, so boy, we got a lot now. She just followed up 4 minutes ago, Pam. Just followed up 4 minutes ago. I don't know what I'm looking at here, but let's read it. She says, "This is a tough photo, but this is a close-up of so much glue residue in the channel of this frame that the welting was glued to. What are the best way to clean this up?" Let me see what I'm looking at here. Well, what I'm looking at, I think, Pam, is a piece of wood that's going to be covered anyhow. It's not a piece of finished wood, I don't think. I'm going to let my number 2 assistant here, number 2 man, look at this to see if he can make this out. What am I looking at there, Jimmy? Is that an unfinished piece of wood?
That's been through a few things there.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first chair that I did?
Yeah.
Okay. And I had said to you, Kevin, how many times do you think this has been done?
Yeah.
And then you came back to me with the same question. And I said about 3 or 4. You said 7 or 8.
7. So Jimmy had a chair that was upholstered and reupholstered, well, 7 or 8 times. That's amazing.
Yes.
So that's what looks like
But
Pam's.
this
This is
what
a
it
new project, right?
Oh yeah.
So
you can tell.
she's asking. So the thing you do is take all the staples out as many as you can first, and then maybe you can sand it down. But keep in mind, you don't have to get, Pam. You don't have to get every single staple or tack out or all the residue out if you're going to be covering it over. So you're looking for the smoothest. I mean, sometimes what happens is you're so aggressive, right, Jimmy, that you can actually gouge the wood, and that's worse than leaving a tack or 2 in.
Yes, you don't want to
after you
weaken
hammer
the
it down.
frame.
So I think the answer is don't feel like you have to be that aggressive. Now, if I'm looking at a finished piece of wood, that's a whole different story. Ask somebody that you know about woodworking that question, because they have little tricks about how to remove adhesives and things like that, whereas upholsterers don't. You know, they don't really get in. We upholsterers don't get into a lot of that residue stuff on finished wood, for instance. We see it a lot in joint cracks, but we don't worry about it because it's going to be covered.
Okay.
So, okay, I guess that's the answer, Pam. So Erica, is it Erica? I think she says she can't wait for the upcoming video online classes, and we're excited that good supporters. Janine says she can't wait, so we're happy about that. Now Debbie, I think Debbie is new, Patrick. She's a new member or new viewer to YouTube, I think. 5 days ago, she says, "I have a matching pair of his and hers. I removed everything. Bottom was complete burlap, no webbing, with springs attached." Very bad idea. They attached the springs right to the webbing. I mean, right to the burlap, Jim.
Obviously, they were very optimistic about their
Weight. I mean,
their rework,
yeah.
which is kind of
Excuse me.
obviously either they missed the point or they took a shortcut.
No webbing. No webbing. The springs were attached to burlap.
I'm shocked.
I think that's the equivalent of when you're baking a cake to leave the flour out of the cake, right?
Yes, and hopefully it'll rise. Maybe I'm not sure it'll rise here, but it won't rise there.
What other analogies can I use? That's like.
That's right there. You had a Food Network.
Was that a good one?
Yes.
I was thinking also, it's like picking your car up at the mechanics and the engine's not in there.
Yeah, it's running real quiet now. We'll give you that little push
But
out the door.
It's a major component, Jimmy. A major component is the webbing. And the right type of webbing, it's the red seat webbing. Now, do we have any questions, live questions, Michaela? Not yet. But we have a lot of people watching us, Jimmy, so it must be your riveting dialogue that is keeping people from asking questions.
Yes, well, I went to the Walter Cronkite School of
For our younger viewers, Walter Cronkite was, well, I won't say it. He was a good journalist. That's all I'll say.
He was a great journalist.
He was a great journalist. Now, Jimmy, maybe you have a live question for me. You don't have to come over, but do you have one for the studio audience? Can you get Jimmy a microphone down there? Yeah, right there. What?
Well, tell me more about this little project here, because I think this chair right next to you is something.
This thing?
Yes.
The ugly duckling?
Is that what you call? Is that the theme of the
Well,
chair?
last week it was the swan chair, and that's the proper name.
So now.
But now it's the ugly duckling chair. But my job is to make it back into the swan chair.
What is the shell made of? What are you in that type of chair? What is it made of?
Fiberglass.
You kidding?
No,
Not wood.
it's not wood.
Wow.
But it's.
I know Lucas was very interested in this, so hopefully he can play this back and watch what
This
he's
is
done.
this couldn't be anything else other than a synthetic material that is molded. It's a lot of
Well, I
molded.
thought that maybe through technology they would have kind of blended.
It would. I think it would be impossible to do this with wood, don't you? Look at it. Look at that, Jimmy. I mean, look at the lines on
I
that.
don't know.
No. It's lightweight too. It's very light.
Yeah.
So that's one of the keys.
Well, you'd have to use a very, very strong wood, thin but strong. But in a case like that, I mean, what are you going to replace it with?
Foam. It has to
Same.
be a 1 inch. It's going to be a 1 inch piece of polyurethane. Foam.
Is it not what we have?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, so earlier I was talking about how even high-end mid-century furniture makers today
Mm-hmm.
had to switch from latex to the polyurethane, which is the exact polyurethane that I have. It's a high-density, medium ultra foam, ultra foam that is Cal 117 graded. That, for people who don't know, that's a fire grade
Okay.
foam. You can get foam. By the way, I don't recommend people buy the white foam. Never buy white foam. It doesn't have body to it, number one. But more importantly, that goes up like gasoline. Yeah, it's very flame. Unbelievable how it would just catch on fire.
I don't think a lot of people are aware of that.
I know. See, here's the thing. Furniture, residential furniture, does not have to be fire graded.
No.
It's the commercial that does. When you do commercial work, it has to be. But residential, that's not required in residential. At least I know in this state. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, considering fabrics have more plastic in them probably than ever before.
Right.
Foam is, whatever foam they use. It's probably more like a white foam because that's when you open up a.
Well,
I've opened up couches before that have been old, and there a lot of white foam is in it.
and you get a lot of off gassing from that too.
Yes.
And
So-
I've opened up new furniture, where you just put a slit in it, and it's like you're getting hit in the face with this off gassing.
Mm-hmm.
So this foam that I use has no off gassing.
There you go. You're an environmentalist.
Well, I mean, I prefer not to use it at all because that's why we try to restore as much. We couldn't do it with this piece. But on our other pieces, like your piece that you're doing, Jimmy, we're going to try to restore, we're keeping the coconut fiber that we found in there.
Okay.
We're going to try to keep that. And you need some new material, but the new material you need is all organic. You're going to get burlap, cotton,
Right.
maybe a little. We're not even going to use Dacron on your chair. That's a synthetic, We're going to try to avoid using that.
Well, we have the spring, so how much would you actually need to kind of make it firm anyway? Dacron, we have the coconut.
Dacron, we wouldn't use the Dacron on that anyhow. You're right, because Jimmy's learning about battings. Batting, a good batting is substance, right? Dacron is not it's not substantial at all. So it's almost like air,
Okay.
So you want to try to, using the right batting, and now that's not to say Dacron, we don't use it. We use it to cover foam cushions,
Okay.
and we use it underneath the fabric, and in between the fabric and the foam.
Okay.
We use the Dacron. The reason we do that is because we want the fabric to stay put.
Okay.
So if you don't use that, the fabric tends to what we call walk. And when fabric walks, that means seams pop open and fabric starts to get stressed and start to,
Wear
rip.
out.
Yeah, wear out. So
Well, I have a question for
Sure.
you. Kind of unusual one. When I put cotton on this chair that I'm doing now,
yeah.
would you ever layer it to get, you know what I mean? The one layer this way, one layer the other way, would that matter? With
Well, on
making
cotton,
it
that's a
firmer?
good question. On cotton, it doesn't matter because it's a natural material.
Okay,
So actually, there's very few materials that we use that doesn't have a distinguishable nap or color variation or look or feel, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Cotton in its pure form when it comes to us is one of them.
okay,
You could take one piece and cut it and turn it around and try to fit it in. You could fit it in any old way, right?
Okay.
The other materials would be leather. Leather because it's from a cow and it's tanned evenly. You can cut a piece of leather off, a square piece, let's say a 4x4 piece, and turn it. You're going to have four ways of turning it.
okay.
You could turn it all four ways on another part of the leather hide, and it will be the same.
Okay.
Now that's my opinion. So we have a
We have a comment from Pennywise the Clown. Watch out, Deb.
Pennywise. I don't like clowns. I'll tell you that right now. So,
Hey,
but
hey,
but
hey,
but I'm trying to be
We're a fan of the
fair.
show.
That's just his picture. His name is I Am Awesome. I'll let Michaela read his comment. Pretty cool.
Says, hey, I work as an upholsterer at my dad's shop. Been doing it 10 years with him, and he has had the business since '67.
Wow,
Love your vids.
he's been a. That's it.
Yeah, well,
I think-
I think his dad, or their dad, has had the upholsterer shop since '67.
Wow.
Since '57.
67.
But still, 67. He's got me beat by at least 10 years.
52 years.
And I didn't have my own shop. He had his own shop, and it sounds like he's had his own shop in '67. I'd like to know who his mentors were, but you have more.
Well, Lucas has a question.
Okay, we got another question from them. But good job, keep it up, guys. And listen, you remember what they say about upholsterers? They never die; they always recover. So keep going.
It's like Pennywise. He
Can
always
we put
comes
that on a
back.
shirt?
Pennywise always comes back.
Did you hear that? Pennywise always comes back too.
Who, you trying to be funny too, like your father, Brad?
Lucas says, do you have an example of the polyester foam that you'll be using in the swan chair? I'm interested to see what it looks like.
I am going to ask my able-bodied assistant, Jimmy, to look behind him on that. He's going to see some foam. Be careful of moving stuff there, Jimmy. All that's
Yes,
been
I don't wanna move
upholstered.
too much.
You don't see the foam?
No.
You've got 10 seconds, Mr. What's his
Ah,
name?
wait a minute.
So there he
Now
goes.
it's
I
like
knew he
Saw.
could do it. He's
Yeah,
on a
it's like
mission.
Saw.
Mission
Yeah.
impossible. The bomb is about to blow up. Oh, we found it! Bring it over here. Look, it just so happens. See, you guys asked for it. There used to be a show. Why don't you go? There used to be a show called "You Asked for It." Remember, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's now no longer on TV.
It's not on.
It says
This is going
it
back
was
to.
very successful.
This is going back to Pennywise's upholstery shop in '67. That '67 was a good year for sitcoms.
You should
The
send
one
some
number one
pictures.
sitcom.
I'd like to see some pictures of the shop.
Dragnet, '67. Dragnet.
You're dating yourself again.
And
You're gonna
then
stop doing
after
that.
that, Adam 12, right?
Oh my God. You're
Come on.
killing me. You're
I
killing
know.
me.
But this is the
Meaning-
polyurethane, Jimmy. This is what Lucas wanted to see. This is the high density, mid, ultra, medium polyurethane,
Okay.
and it's equipped with the fire retardant. You know how you can tell it's fire retardant? And it's got these little crystals in it.
Oh, okay.
And also the color's a dead giveaway. The color is the giveaway.
Blue.
Yeah. So the white foam, never buy the white foam. Never
Okay.
buy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point. Remember that, everyone.
It doesn't have it. If you lift the white foam, this has some weight to it.
Yeah, the white
The
foam
white
is
foam
dense.
is like you throw it up in the air and it just blows away. It's like it's
So
like
obviously it would tear down real quick.
Oh yeah, it's very bad. It's very
Okay.
bad. It looks good.
Yeah, well,
Fresh and
people look and
clean.
say, "Oh, yeah, it must be firm." And again, like memory foam, people say,
Yeah.
"I'm going to use memory foam," which they believe is going to be.
So now that you're up here,
Yeah,
thank you for doing this. Why don't you sit down on the prayer chair
I love this.
and we'll ask you about how your class is going. You're online. Unless we have some more questions from. I guess I followed up with Pennywise's comments and just wanted to say he's
His
been.
his name is I Am Awesome. That's his.
Oh,
I am awesome.
awesome. Sorry.
Well, I hope everybody in your world thinks that much of you.
He reminds you call him Pennywise. Obviously a fan of the movie. So.
Oh yeah, Patrick likes it too.
I love those movies.
That age group, you know, they're all a bunch of clowns, right, Jimmy, in that age group?
Well, yeah, that's what I was told.
Excuse me?
I'm only going by reliable information, everyone.
Of course, you know, a mime is classified, did you know a mime is classified as a clown? This is kind of like
Yes,
a clown
yeah,
spectrum?
they may have been around that same time, clown. Yeah. Can you do that? Can you open the door for me?
So I just want to finish up with Debbie. I was in the middle of Debbie's. We got really sidetracked, Jimmy.
You always do.
Because I was in the middle of reading Debbie's when all of that happened. Like 20 minutes later, we were answering questions from...
Now they're asleep.
I hope Debbie didn't leave. Debbie, I'm sorry. I talked about, what do they call that, I think? ADHD, I think. Something like that.
Oh, well, we won't get it. We'll get that's for another show.
Yes. So here we go. I just want to, I have a matching pair. I'm going to start from the beginning.
Okay.
Take it nice and slow, Jimmy.
Breathe.
I have a matching pair of his and hers chairs. I removed everything. Bottom was complete burlap. No webbing with springs attached. And that's when everything got lost. Everything went crazy. As the party hats came out, and the balloons were all over the place. And
She's looking for, what is
she's
it?
got a lot here. There's a big paragraph here.
Oh,
I only got through the first sentence.
Well, let me read the rest of it.
You want to read the rest of it?
Yes.
Because I seem to be very distracted.
Okay, go ahead.
So, would you want me to keep going?
Yes,
Okay.
the mystery is ensuing here.
So, the top cake, she has in parentheses the cake, and you all know what a cake is, right? It's the bottom of it's the inside of the chair that's been really well done and real hand stitched and all that. It's
She
got all
really
the-
knows her stuff.
She does.
She's calling that.
So she says the top cake of the seat had horsehair, not coconut fiber.
Damn, I got screwed.
Grass, not straw,
Grass.
and raw cotton.
So,
This came from the farm. I know this came from a farm because I'll explain that in a minute. Well, let me explain it now. We had a chair here, and I like to try to be the chair whisperer. I'm getting distracted again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where did this chair come from? Well, we had if you go on YouTube, you see the 1860s cowboy chair pad, right?
Well, there's an 1860s cowboy and a Civil War sofa.
The cowboy chair. We pinpointed it from the Midwest based on the materials that we use inside the chair, Jimmy. Isn't that amazing?
you're kidding.
No.
So you're an upholstery detective.
I think we did pretty good
Is
because
there-
we
is there
went
a
right
course in that?
Kansas City, Missouri, about the same time. All those
Who do you
guns.
think sat on you? If you can figure
It could be that Billy the Kid. It could have been one of those cowboys that
Wyatt
sat
Burp?
on that chair. Why burp? No. Why- I think it's Earp.
Oh, I'm sorry. Freudian slip.
But here I go, distracted again. Let's focus.
Yeah, let's help this woman out, please.
I know. She's probably at home at the edge of her.
Like, what are these guys doing?
On the edge
They're
of her.
worse than the Three Stooges.
Right now, she's on the edge of her cake
Yes.
of the seat. Had horsehair, grass, not straw, and raw cotton. This is really exciting. I'm building this up. I hope this is going to go somewhere. The edge roll is made of what looks like tightly twisted paper. Ugh, that's the only
God, they
downfall.
really.
Neither chair has a maker's mark anywhere. This chair reminds me of the ones I have. What era would you have used these supplies to fashion a chair? Well, she's got some good, really insight here, doesn't she? I
Oh
could
my
talk forever
God.
about this. Just this one comment, we could talk forever, dude.
Oh,
Thank you for posting these videos. I have thoroughly enjoyed every second. Nashville,
especially the ones with me. I just want to be sure.
For those, we would like comments about Jimmy's performances here. If he's a distraction to me, please, we want to know that. If he's an hindrance of any type.
We'll get rid of them like that. Don't worry.
That's
Jimmy was
that's almost demeaning, Kevin. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
We'll have to do the show from his house. You know, we'll satellite.
Yeah.
We're behind bars.
From that lonely apartment in suburban Massachusetts. Thank you.
We auditioned 100 people,
Yeah. Well, that's good.
but you succeeded. Thank you, Jimmy. We like Jimmy. He's really good. So she says, thank you for posting the videos that I've thoroughly enjoyed
Yes, Patrick.
every second. So she wants to know if I know, there's no maker name. Very rarely is there. She says, I'm gonna go out on a limb, no pun intended, another organic material, a limb,
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
And I'm gonna say that this chair came from the Midwest.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say it's from the center of the country because of the grass. This is a farm chair. This is a farm chair. This is,
Obviously, they had nothing but
well, they had,
what resources they had available.
she says raw cotton, which is what we still, when she refers to a raw cotton, Jimmy, would you mind grabbing that cotton over there? We have a question, a live question before we get to our cotton.
This is from I Am Awesome again. Do you guys mostly do residential or lots of commercial too?
Yeah, we do, is that the question?
Yeah.
We do mainly residential. Commercial work, if you guys are doing commercial work, my hat's off to you. It's hard work, but it's lucrative. It's very lucrative because you're dealing usually in multiples. But to tell anybody who wants to get into commercial work, you have to really be good at paperwork. You have to have somebody helping you with the paperwork. Because usually a restaurant, a university, especially the universities today, they want all the I's dotted, the T's crossed. They want presentation, they want good workmanship, of course, but they want all that other stuff too that goes along with it. And the billing can take, the other thing about commercial work billing, sometimes you're waiting 30, 60, 90, 120 days.
Wow.
So if you're gonna get into commercial work, I think you really need to have a lot of capital behind you and you need to be willing to wait. You have to be a hard worker. Bless you. You have to really know how to work volume. You have to have a bigger shop area. There's so much more to it, Jimmy. I love doing the residential work because I can do one piece at a time. I can focus on this if I have to. Honestly, there's not as much money to be made in residential, to be honest with you. But I like it. And if you're going to be setting yourself up in a residential shop, you need to make sure that you're not just in a brick and mortar in one community, but you need outreach. This is one of the reasons why, honestly, we do the YouTube classes. We have online classes because our reach is greater. You know, other people from other communities. I mean, Lucas wants to come from Belgium, you know.
And stay with you, right?
Well,
You're going to build on that addition, brother?
well, it would be a great thing to have a school, a big school set up where we had, you know, housing.
Oh, wow.
And you know, it's always been a dream of mine as a teacher for so long to set up a school. I think it's only going to be a dream at this point. But imagine there's no upholstery school that I know of in the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, a bona fide bachelor's degree,
Legit, yeah.
associate's bachelor's degree upholstery school.
Yeah, you'd have to start with the curriculum and be,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I think to a point, fabric, I mean, it would have to be all about everything.
Oh, it's so much. There's so much that it
And
can
especially
encompass.
from the way things, I mean, the chair that I have, which is 80 years old,
Right.
so from that point back to this, I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of, it's quite the spectrum.
Well, the history of furniture.
Yes.
It covers. You have to cover all that. Now we had.
I was gonna say, I Am Awesome from Montreal.
Oh.
Montreal, our French
I
friends.
feel like you read the rest of that.
Oh,
It's
okay.
interesting.
Yeah. Yes, we do a lot of commercial in Montreal. Lots of bars, clubs, restaurants.
Nice.
Lots of residential too. I prefer commercial though. More money, like you said, and you get to meet a lot of different people.
Yes, good
And
connection.
you know, there's something very satisfying about upholstering a restaurant or a nightclub, or
They know, you know what you did.
you walk in and you know the whole thing is you did it. Now I did a job. I do sometimes dabble in commercial work. I take on a commercial job.
That's fun.
And you know, one of my best, people say, what's the biggest project you ever had? I said, the biggest project I ever did was upholstering MIT's DNA. I mean, what? You know, Massachusetts Institute of Technology and
Yes.
the DNA?
Yes.
Well, they had I think I've told this story before, but they had this new building that they made, and in the center, they had this beautiful atrium area that went up 4 flights up to the ceiling, you know, in this interior, if you can visualize that.
Okay.
And then when you're at the bottom where they do their lectures, or, you know, at the bottom, you look up and the stairs go in like a DNA structure. And the
Really?
stairs, they wanted cushions for each stair for the students to sit on. And so I upholstered the DNA strand of
Wow.
DNA.
So how many pillows was that?
Huh?
How many pillows was that?
Oh, it wasn't pillows. We had to actually customize this with wood. We had to put, like, I know that he would from Montreal know about this. You know, sometimes you have to make a wooden seat and upholster over that to put in place. It can't be a loose cushion because it had to be removable, and they couldn't move because the students would come down on the stairs. So they had to be heavy enough not to slip from underneath,
Okay,
somebody.
okay.
So it was a very challenging, and every cushion was different. It curved, and every curve was different.
The measurements.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every one was a custom.
Now, how long did that take you?
Oh, it took them forever to plan it out, you know. And so now I can you know, people can go online and see that. They just put in it's called the Broad Center, BROAD, and they can check that out. See the job I did. Just put in the.
Did you have a little nameplate on the bottom of that?
No, you know, we never get credit. We're like ghostwriters.
I would have slipped one.
Upholsterers never get credit for anything. No, we just do the work.
I'm surprised you never mentioned the theater, Dad. That's another cool one.
We did another job we did here.
Okay, for next week, you tease it this week.
Yeah, we'll tease it this week, but that was a death-defying upholstery job, Jimmy. And I kid you not.
I would have loved to seen it. I would have loved to have been part of it. I think it's, well, I mean, it's a ton of work, because if you said you're doing 200 chairs for a theater, there you go.
Yeah, it's
you
nice.
You are working.
Sometimes I look at a piece of commercial, you know, you look at a piece and say, how many people have sat, like we do, let's say this chair, who sat in this chair? You know, I picked up a couple of dining room chairs the other day, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt had sat in one of the chairs.
You don't touch that chair.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
yeah.
Napoleon.
And of course, the most famous chair I've done is Napoleon's chair.
That little guy.
Yeah, I'll show people. Wait, we got enough time, Patrick? We got 10 minutes. Oops, I almost fell.
Time.
So now, our French friend in Montreal, I don't know how you feel about Napoleon, but
We got a question.
we got a question. Well, we always take priority with the live questions, Jimmy.
Okay.
Right?
This is from Joseph. I wanted to ask how much I should charge for 4 set of dining chairs. I need advice on making prices for customers.
Oh, good question. Now, do we know where he?
That's Joseph that was talking about Las Vegas.
Oh, in Vegas. Okay, so
So
the
is
reason I asked first, where's he from, is because it's dependent on demographics, geography. It's dependent on a lot of factors. So Jimmy should pay attention, because Jimmy is doing his, congratulations, Jimmy.
Thank you.
If I don't have my other hand available, but Jimmy has taken on, this is a big step for him, drum roll please, his first professional upholstery job.
Right.
That's a big step.
It is a big step.
As that's saying, hey, that's stepping up to the plate and saying, I can do this and I can get paid. I do it well enough that I can get paid. And see, Joseph is in this.
He's right there.
Yeah, asking this question. So a lot of it is dependent on your youth is going to play a part in this too, his youth, because you know, people are willing to pay. They see a seasoned upholsterer. And they say, oh, he knows what he's doing, so he might be worth a little bit more. So there's a lot of factors here.
Okay.
But if you're looking at it straight on, does he specify what type of chairs they are?
Dining chairs.
Or what type of dining room chairs? See, this is your first lesson, Joseph. There are different types. There's slip seat, there's an upholstered seat, there's box seats, right? There's
So,
posset chairs,
The
dining room
more
chairs.
work, the more money.
Right, I mean, and slip seats are the basic ones. They're the ones where you detach from the frame. Let's assume that that's what it is.
Okay.
The greater Boston area, one seat is worth $90 a piece,
Okay.
labor. So that means we strip the fabric off and we reupholster it, right?
Okay.
So if he's got 4 chairs, that's 9, 18, 20, $360, and then 2 yards of fabric, because you can get a width, 2 out of a width. Probably get 1 yard out of 2, so he needs 2 yards for 4 chairs.
Right.
So that you should be, if you're not sure about that, there are charts online that I would stay away from actually. But because the charts always underestimate.
Ooh.
Yeah, they
Can't do
underestimate.
that.
Right, they underestimate Jimmy. So you need to, the best way to do it is go on to our YouTube channel, Broadway Upholstery School, look in how to measure, how to figure out fabric measurements.
Okay, good.
We have a video on that. We
All
have
right.
a lot of different videos that you can fall back on, Joseph. Use that for support. You know?
Yeah, you give you a very good idea about fabric, and especially with the
As far as pricing in Las Vegas,
probably $60.
he needs to get a feel for that. He needs to call around maybe and ask other people what they're getting. You know, it's okay to do what they call a price check.
Okay.
We call price check. That's another way of trying to get a medium price. Get 3 of them. Get a medium price.
And then figure it out from there.
And of course, it does depend on your skill level too.
Yes.
You know where your skill level is, and what your comfort zones are, and all that, in getting more money. A lot of times when people first start, they just want to get work in order to get better.
Right.
So there'll be less. There'll be priceless.
Yes.
You know, there's a trap there though. Be careful with doing that. Can you hold that for a second, Julie?
Yes.
Sorry, I have a cold, and I apologize. But is there any more live questions?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so the Napoleon chair, probably the most famous chair that I did. We got featured in a Upholstery journal. And this is a famous painting by David. And you can actually see this chair that I upholstered next to Napoleon's deathbed, right here, this gentleman sitting on right here. And there is an angel on one side and a devil on the other side, waiting for Napoleon to die. And so we all are going to be faced with the same prospect, I believe. But Napoleon, some people either loved him or they hated him. I guess it depends, you know, where you are in history. I don't know. I don't know too much about that part of it, though, about why he's either a tyrant or a hero to people.
Well, if you start conquering countries, you're not exactly going to be in the welcome wagon, are you?
That's true. That's
You know?
true. Yeah.
And how old was he when he conquered?
I don't know,
He
but
was
I know
on
that
the younger side of 20.
he died in the 1820s. So this chair, I'm only focused on the furniture. Isn't
Oh,
that
I'm
something?
sorry, we're getting off.
So the chair is at least from 1810, I would say, 1810 up to 1820, maybe even earlier, because it was his chair and it's sitting there, and there it is. Interesting enough, we upholstered the fabric is called the Napoleon B fabric.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So it was a fun chair. So Jimmy, I think unless you have a question, well, we were going to talk a little bit about the cotton, weren't we?
Yes.
And we're going to follow up. I think we've got a couple of minutes, Patrick.
Yep.
Just to follow up, she said she found raw cotton. Debbie found some raw cotton.
Now, what's the difference with raw cotton? Is that a
Well, there
harder?
are 3 different grades of cotton.
Okay.
This would be considered a cotton, a raw cotton, certainly. It's not a cotton cloth. It's not refined into a fabric yet, right?
Right.
It's not spun. We're not spinning these for fabric. We're using it for batting purposes.
Okay.
But when she says raw cotton, I have a feeling she found cotton with not only the seeds. If you look closely enough at that, Jimmy, this is a AAA cotton. It's been cleaned very well, but you still see seeds in there, cotton seeds.
Yes.
So on the raw cotton, you not only do you see seeds, you see dirt. You see a little dirt,
Yeah.
and that's cool, right? It's dirt, and you also see parts of the plant itself, little branches and things
Okay.
like that
Yeah.
in the seeds. If you look closely enough, you see these little things in here. But this is the final one. So she definitely found a farm produced piece of furniture, which I think is cool.
She doesn't have a picture with that, does she?
No, she doesn't.
Oh, that'd be great.
And I guess I'm just going to mention one more thing, Jimmy. It's kind of like up your alley. This is one of your questions. But Janine, the last question, and I think that we're going to do it. We got 1 minute left. Janine says, a great question and answer. That would be last week. Just a question from the beginning of the video about coconut fiber
Okay.
being second to horsehair. Is the coconut fiber a special type just for upholstery, or might it be sourced to, say, a plant nursery? Thank you. Well, I don't know if there's a source for coconut fiber, because I know we can get horsehair.
Still?
Oh yeah, but I can get that tomorrow if people are willing to pay for it. But the coconut fiber, I'm not sure. But if a fiber, I said it was second to horsehair, I think you should check it out. I think just look for the same in any plant substitute. Look for the consistency. Use a horsehair for like the go-to, consistency.
Is the mainstay.
And if you get something that close to that, I don't think there's a problem because it's still your very bottom base material, as long as it's got that consistency, right? I hope that answers Janine's questions, and I think that's going to wrap it up. Sorry about the cold today. Sorry about the coughing, but been a long day here at the shop, and we hope to see you next week. Jimmy, keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.